She'd call him the N-word at Starbucks. He owned the entire chain. In 5 minutes, she'd lose everything. Marcus Hayes pushed through the Starbucks door on Pine Street. Grande Americano on his mind. The gray hoodie and jeans were deliberate. When you're CEO checking if your 50,000 employees live the company values, you need to blend in. Most had never seen him in person, just quarterly video calls and annual reports. Today, he wanted the truth. The cafe buzzed with Tuesday morning energy. Espresso machines hissed, ceramic mugs clinked. Conversations overlapped into white noise. Marcus joined the line, checking an email from the board about quarterly earnings. In 5 minutes, he'd be managing a very different kind of corporate crisis. 3 people ahead stood a woman in her mid-50s. Blonde hair pulled into a tight bun. Designer sunglasses perched on her head despite the overcast weather. Catherine Whitmore tapped manicured nails on her leather purse, sighing loudly as if the weight personally offended her. She'd already had 2 mimosas at brunch, maybe 3, and her divorce lawyer's call that morning hadn't helped her mood. Catherine was looking for a target. When Marcus's phone buzzed, he answered quietly, "Yeah, I'm grabbing coffee now. I'll be there in 20. Catherine whipped around. "Excuse me. Some of us are trying to enjoy our morning without listening to your phone conversation." Marcus looked up confused. 2 other people were also on their phones. No one else seemed bothered. "I'll keep it down," he said evenly, ending the call. "People like you always think the rules don't apply," she muttered, just loud enough. Marcus had been here before. Different city, different face, same hate. Breathe through it. Reacting only proved their point. So he said nothing. He stepped forward when the line moved. He kept his eyes on the menu board. But Catherine kept watching. When her turn came, she made a show of it, asking about oat milk, demanding a specific temperature, requesting a remake before tasting. The barista, Jenna with purple streaked hair, handled it with practiced patience. Finally, Catherine's drink was ready. She inspected it like a jeweler examining a flawed diamond and stepped aside. Marcus approached the counter. "Grande Americano, please," he said with a polite smile. "Name?" Jenna asked. "Marcus." As he reached for his wallet, Catherine's voice cut through the cafe. "You're going to serve him before fixing my drink? This tastes burnt." Jenna's smile faltered. "Ma'am, I made it exactly as you asked." "Well, it's wrong. Remake it. Now." The shift supervisor, Derek, stepped in. "We'll remake it for you. No problem." Catherine huffed but moved aside, right into Marcus's space. He shifted slightly to give her room. She didn't move. Instead, she turned to him. "Do you mind? I was here first." "I'm just waiting for my coffee," Marcus replied calmly. "Of course you are," she said, her voice rising. "Just standing there, invading everyone's space like you own the place." The cafe went quiet. Conversation stopped. Heads turned. Marcus felt a familiar tightness in his chest, the one that came when he knew things were about to escalate, not because of anything he'd done, but because of who he was. "Ma'am, I'm not trying to cause any problems." "Cause problems?" Catherine's face twisted. "You people always cause problems. Coming in here, acting like you belong." She stopped herself, but the damage was done. The words hung in the air like smoke. Jenna's eyes widened. Derek stepped forward. "Ma'am, that's not acceptable." "Don't tell me what acceptable," Catherine shot back. "I've been coming to the Starbucks for 10 years. I play golf with Howard Schultz. I have his private number. I've had coffee at his lake house in Madison Park." She turned back to Marcus, eyes narrowing with venom. As he reached for his wallet, her elbow knocked his phone from his hand. It clattered against the tile. "Oops," she said without looking back, stepping over to grab her drink. The cafe erupted in whispers. Marcus bent calmly, retrieved his phone, and straightened. His jaw was tight, but his voice stayed level. "Ma'am, that wasn't necessary." "Wasn't it?" She laughed, sharp and bitter. "Maybe if you weren't so busy on your phone, you'd pay attention to where you're standing." Derek moved closer. "Ma'am, you need to stop. Right now." "Or what?" Catherine's voice climbed higher. "You'll kick me out? For him?" Do you have any idea who I am? One call, and you'll be scrubbing toilets in a Montana rest stop. The tension in the room was suffocating. A businessman stood up from his corner table. A mother covered her child's ears. Someone whispered, "This is insane." Then Marcus spoke, his voice quiet but carrying. "You really think you know Howard Schultz?" Catherine spun around. "What?" "Howard Schultz," Marcus repeated, his tone measured. "The founder. You said you know him, that you've been to his house." "Yes," she spat. "I do. We're friends. He'll hear about this." Marcus nodded slowly. "Interesting, because Howard stepped down as CEO in 2017. I replaced him." The room froze. Catherine blinked, processing. That's ridiculous. You're lying." "Am I?" Marcus said. He reached into his pocket. Not for his wallet, but for the business card he grabbed that morning for his meeting with the mayor. He held it out. Catherine snatched it, glancing down at the embossed text. Marcus Hayes, Chief Executive Officer, Starbucks Corporation. Her face drained of color. Someone gasped. Another person laughed nervously. Jenna's hand flew to her mouth. Derek's eyes went wide. "That's fake," Catherine stammered, her voice cracking. "This is a prank. You're one of those YouTube pranksters. Where's the camera?" Marcus pulled out his phone, unlocked it, and turned the screen toward her. His corporate email. His calendar filled with board meetings. A photo of him with the governor at a community center opening. "The cameras are already here," he said quietly, gesturing to the dozen phones now raised and recording throughout the cafe. Catherine's hands trembled. The business card slipped from her fingers, fluttering to the floor. I didn't mean." "Yes, you did," Marcus said, his voice still calm but now edged with steel. "You meant every word. You thought I was no one. You thought you had power here. You thought you could say whatever you wanted because I was black, and you assumed I couldn't do anything about it." The silence was deafening. Marcus turned to Derek. "You did the right thing. Thank you for standing up." Derek nodded, still processing. Then Marcus turned back to Catherine. "You said you know corporate. You said one phone call could end careers." He lifted his phone, dialing. "Let's make that call." Catherine's legs seemed to give out. She grabbed the counter for support. "Please? I'm sorry. I didn't know." "You're not sorry you said it," Marcus interrupted. "You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry I'm not who you thought I was." His phone connected. "Hi, this is Marcus Hayes. I need security to document an incident at the Pine Street location. Full ban from all Starbucks properties worldwide, effective immediately. And get me legal. I want a formal statement from every witness here." Catherine made a strangled sound. No, please. You can't do this. I made a mistake. I'll apologize publicly." "You'll leave?" Marcus said flatly. "And you'll never come back. Not to this store. Not any store we own. 32,000 locations across 80 countries. You're done." But Catherine wasn't done speaking. In her panic, in her desperate need to regain control, she made her final, fatal mistake. She straightened up, face flushed with rage and humiliation, and screamed it. The word, the slur, the one that carries 400 years of hate. The cafe exploded. Jesus Christ, did she just... The businessman breathed. The mother grabbed her child. "Don't listen, baby. That's a very bad word." Someone else shouted. "Everyone's recording this." Jenna dropped the cup she was holding. Derek froze, his face going pale. But Marcus didn't move. He stood there, unshaken, his eyes locked on Catherine. Because he'd heard it before. He'd been called worse. And he knew that this moment, this documented, recorded, undeniable moment, would follow her forever. Security arrived within minutes. Two calm, professional men in dark suits who'd been stationed a block away. They escorted Catherine out while she sobbed and pleaded. Her designer purse clutched to her chest like a shield. Phones recorded every second. Marcus's phone buzzed. His CMO. "Sir, you're trending #1 on Twitter. Every news outlet wants comment." Another buzz. His head of security. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all requesting interviews. Across town, Catherine's phone was buzzing too. Her boss, effective immediately. Her country club, membership revoked. Her daughter, Mom, what did you do? After she was gone, Marcus turned to the customer still standing around, phone still raised. I want to say something, he began. What you witnessed today isn't rare. It happens every day in big ways and small ways, to black people, to brown people, to anyone who doesn't fit someone's narrow idea of who belongs. The difference today is that I had power to respond. Most people don't. He paused, letting the weight settle. Most people have to swallow that hate and move on because fighting back could cost them their job, their safety, or their life. So if you recorded this, don't just share the moment I revealed who I am. Share the moment she felt entitled to dehumanize me. Share the moment these employees stood up for what was right, even when they were scared. His voice grew firmer. Share the lesson that respect isn't inherited or bought. It's how you treat people when you think they have no power over you. Because that's when your true character shows. The cafe erupted in applause. Jenna was crying. Derek shook Marcus's hand, his own hands trembling. An older black woman approached with tears streaming. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for standing there, for not letting her win. Marcus nodded, throat tight. We don't let them win. Not anymore. He finally got his Americano on the house, though he left a $200 tip for Jenna and Derek. As he walked toward the door, a young black man stopped him. Mr. Hayes, I work at the store on Capitol Hill. I've served people like her 100 times. But I never, he trailed off. You never had the power to respond, Marcus finished gently. I know, but next time someone treats you that way, you tell them your CEO wouldn't stand for it. You tell them you matter, because you do. As Marcus stepped onto the rain-slicked street, the sun broke through the clouds. His phone buzzed again his assistant. Board wants an emergency call. They're calling you a hero. Marcus smiled slightly. Not a hero, just a black man who'd gotten tired of breathing through it, who'd had the power to fight back, and had used it not just for himself, but for every person who'd ever been told they didn't belong. By evening, the video had 15 million views. Catherine Whitmore's name trended alongside hashtag StarbucksEO and hashtag racism has consequences. Her law firm released a statement. Ms. Whitmore's views do not reflect our values. She is no longer employed here. Her social circle evaporated overnight. The life she'd built on unchecked privilege crumbled because she thought she could humiliate a black man in a coffee shop without consequences. But Marcus Hayes had taught her, and millions watching, that those days were over. If you believe power should protect, not punish, share the story. Subscribe for more stories where the underestimated become undeniable. Respect isn't given, it's demanded, and we're done staying quiet.